Everybody, I hope y'all are all doing fantastic. We're just gonna get straight into this video because it looks like I'm not the only one who's going homeless these days.
And this is the kitchen. Okay. Okay, I like this unit. How much did you say rent was? This unit is $5,000.
Choose to renew our lease in August. It's going to cost us $4,008 a month.
Working just to pay rent for us to have a place to sleep.
I work more than full time. I work more than 50 hours every week, and I can't qualify for an apartment in most states in America today.
And she was like, oh my God, you're gonna love it. It's a 1-bedroom, it's $2,800, but it has a big balcony. Oh, it has a big balcony, bitch. Does it?
$1,800 for a studio apartment downtown, minus $200 parking, minus utilities. Like, what the fuck? How are you guys living? How are you guys living?
Are out of control. Landlords are gouging tenants, and people are struggling to find affordable housing. Let's dive into the world of rental nightmares and see what people are saying about this housing crisis.
Cabinets. Are these made of real wood? No, sir. See, that there's a problem. I'm allergic to fake wood. Can't even touch it. I'm sorry to hear that. I can show you more expensive units if you... I'm parched. Do you have something to drink? Here you go. Thank you. So, tell me more about the neighbors. Your closest neighbor is a lawyer. Very nice. And what do you do for work, sir? Oh, well, I've had some experience in the legal system myself. Oh, like a judge?
Bring back $900 rent. I keep telling y'all we all need to go on a rent strike. Every state all together at the same time. That's the only way they'll stop increasing rent. And what safety nets do you have in place for all of the people who are suddenly going to be unhoused? This is by no means the first time I've seen something like this, but when we're talking about irresponsible organizing, this is what we're talking about. Telling people to put their housing at risk, knowing full well that many of them have nowhere else to go, and if they get evicted, that means they are on the street, to just stop paying rent and do a rent strike without doing any of the work to provide safety and safety nets and support for those people is incredibly irresponsible. There should absolutely be rent caps. Rent should be lower. Rent is insane. The rental market needs more regulation. It's out of control. And yes, a rent strike.
And that's crazy because I was watching a video a few weeks ago, right? And the guy was saying that literally since COVID, his rent increased $700, y'all. That's ridiculous.
Can be a way to achieve that. But if you do not already have all of these safety nets put in place for the people who are going to be striking, it's going to fall apart incredibly quickly. And the most vulnerable people will be in even worse places than they were at the beginning. You need to have infrastructure in place for this to work.
So my lease ends in 7 days, and I told this bitch I don't want to spend more than $2,200, and she was taking me up to this room, and she was like, oh my God, you're gonna love it. It's a 1-bedroom, it's $2,800, but it has a big balcony. Oh, it has a big balcony, bitch. Does it? Do you know what else is big? No? Okay, let me tell you what's not. The bank account. The budget. The credit score. The patience, bitch. Why don't you take the keys to Miss 2,800, not including parking and utilities, and shove it up here?
So I got a letter from my apartment complex to Miss Rachel Peterson Connolly. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but basically, if Ty and I choose to renew our lease in August, it's gonna cost us $4,008 a month. We live in a 2-bed, 2-bath in South Denver.
Just so you don't think I'm making it up, we would be paying almost as much as my parents do for a 7-bedroom, 11-acre house.
Colorado, y'all are on some crack cocaine.
I have been homeless for over 100 days. I live here in this Prius, which is a rental car, and I work more than full time. I work more than 50 hours every week, and I can't qualify for an apartment in most states in America today. And, I put out a couple videos recently about this, and a lot of people watched them.
And honestly, that's why this channel, because for those who are new here, I'm getting evicted. We'll talk more about that. I even talked about a whole nother video, but I have an update on that. But my whole channel is I'm getting out of the rat race. Like, you can miss me with this shit. It's like literally where hamsters on a human hamster wheel just running and running, bills, bills, bills. And I'm done here. So I'm going to figure out a way to live literally for free or for super cheap. If you've seen other videos on this channel, there's so many of them or of other ways that people have lived for free. Like, for example, this one guy in the video that I made, he lives in New York City, in Manhattan, and he only pays $300 a month. I like that.
There was mixed reviews, and we're at a divide in this country right now where, there seems to be this idea that if you want to be able to survive and work a job and be able to afford a home and a car and things like that, the essentials, somehow that is getting misconstrued for socialism. I've been called a socialist more times in the last few days than I care to count. And how is that socialism? Because when you think about it, right, just 15 years.
Because remember, people are brainwashed. The majority of Americans literally have been trained from the womb to obey the system. Work, die, pay bills. Work, die, pay bills. Work, die. Like, that's the system. To make the 1%, we all work for the 1%. Hello? Think about this. If we all follow up most of our jobs, we all are slaves to the 1%, okay? Because most of us are literally just working for basic housing and food and stuff. Is that not slavery? Let's really think about it.
20 years ago, people could work one job, afford to buy a home, have a car, a newer car, a yearly vacation. You go back a little bit further, like 30 years ago, one person could earn for a whole family, could have a partner, children, a new car, and a yearly vacation on one income. So how are we at this point where people like myself that are working can't afford a place to even live? But then when we ask for that, it's somehow called socialism.
Yeah, I seen y'all had some one-bedroom luxury apartments for rent. How much they going for? Ted, like 2, 3, 4, 5? Hell, it ain't like it matter anyway. We gonna raise the shit. 2, 3, 4, 5 what? Like, what you mean? Bands. Yeah, like 2, 3, 4, 5 bands. Racks, $1,000. Bam, the hood, like down the Okay, what's the luxury features they come with? Why is so much? Shit, the refrigerator silver, and we just hit the walls with some fresh beige paint, and we just put the fake wood flow in. You ain't ready for this?
Okay, cool. So I'm having to move out of my house because I can't afford rent, so I'm moving into my parents' property. But
so she can't afford rent, so she's moving out. So clearly, I'm not the only one who can't afford these astronomical rent prices.
I couldn't afford rent either, and I was driving down the highway to try and go get help from social services, and the hood of my car smashed into my windshield and shattered it. So I pulled over, and this lady behind me pulled over and turns out I happen to know her. So she helps me get to the social services office, and I'm calling my dad, and he's like out of state or out of town. And as I'm there, this other lady overhears me, and she's like, I'll call AAA and have them tow your car for free. What's your address? So they gave me a ride home, towed my car for free. A couple of days later, my friends called me, and they're like, hey, let's go out. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't go out. I can't even get to work. My car is completely wrecked. The windshield's wrecked. I can't even make rent. I don't know how I'm gonna fix this. So sorry, guys. And they're like, hey, you know what? We just ran into some cash. We want to help you. So they paid for my car. They got me a rental, and they paid for rent for me that month. You want to know something? If the hood of my car hadn't flown up and shattered my windshield, none of that would have happened. I wouldn't have gotten any help, and I probably wouldn't have been able to pay rent that month because I never would have told them that, hey, I can't pay rent. Sorry, I can't go out. I'd be like, sure, let's go out. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, you know what? Me moving into my parents' house at 30 is to me the best thing that's ever happened to me. It feels like right now I'm pulling over on the side of the road with a shattered windshield. My life sucks, but you know what? Everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be great. It doesn't matter. We're gonna be fine. We're all gonna be fine. If you're currently living in Alberta, specifically Calgary area, and you live downtown in a high-rise apartment, what the fuck do you do for work? Like, I need to know. Shopping or like renting, whatever, with my friend the other day, and the prices are absolutely insane. And I just don't understand what job people are doing as Canadians. Like, I'm 25. What job would a 25-year-old have to be living in these apartments? Because it's just insane to me. Like, $1,800 for a studio apartment downtown, minus $200 parking, minus utilities. Like, what the fuck? How are you guys living? How are you guys living? Please tell me.
Today is Friday, and the rent is due. The rent is due. I'm feeling some kind of way, right? I don't really have much money after I pay rent. I might have like $300, and that'll probably go to my gas to get back and forth to work throughout the whole week until I get paid again. But I'm literally working just to pay rent for us to have a place to sleep. I don't know.
Exactly. And so the reason why I'm getting evicted, how I felt back, is because I work for the education system, right? So unfortunately, there was no job for me this summer, right? And I tried to find another job, right? And eventually, I was applying everywhere. And eventually, I finally got hired at Chick-fil-A. But it was already August when I got hired. You know what I'm saying? Because jobs honestly really aren't hiring like they was. So that's how I fell behind. So at the end of the day, so even if I didn't fall behind, my paycheck literally just pays for the roof over my head, food in my mouth, and a bus fare to get to the slave ship. So at the end of the day, which is the work, my job, even though, but whatever.
I feel so sad, right? All my situations, but I did get something in the mail from the police station about my son and the situation with the vapes, right? So I'm hoping when I go to court, I have court cases that I have to fight too. So when I go to court, I'm hoping that all this evidence can help me in court. But I gotta go to work today, and I'm feeling some type of way. And because yesterday I had to leave work early because I had to pick up my daughter because she was having cramps and she was in the bathroom throwing up. So, the school nurse is like, come get your daughter. So I had to stop working and drive an hour to go pick her up. And just not having anybody that I could depend on to help me, no family, just nobody.
And this is why I'm telling y'all, stop sleeping with just anybody, because sex makes babies. Now look, she's about to be homeless with kids, y'all. We have to be smart with who we sleep with. It's very imperative.
To me, she said, do you have anybody that you could call? I told her no. There's nobody. There's nobody to call. I'm literally by myself.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to cut this video here because this video is getting long. At the end of the day, what are we going to do to pretty much get out of the matrix? Because at the end of the day, Satan is this owner of this system. God intended us to come to this world and to live free. Food is free. You stick one potato in the ground, 8 weeks later, you have like 15 potatoes. That's free. So at the end of the day, this whole we gotta pay for stuff is not real. So this channel is my journey on how I end up living for free, because I'm done with this matrix. I hope y'all all have a blessed day and take care.